everybody, it's Dr. Khadisha, your board-certified emergency medicine physician and author of the best-selling book, Help Us Help You in the Emergency Room. Here just to check in, see how everyone's doing. I know it's late. Is Black is King done yet? I've got some updates for you. I know we've gotten a lot of bad news this week. We buried John Lewis. We found out that people are dying about one every minute here in the United States. Things aren't getting that much better. More states are turning into red states. And we're fighting the conspiracy again about hydroxychloroquine. There was a doctor who was very passionate on the steps of the Capitol talking about hydroxychloroquine and how we don't need to wear masks and everything. And President Trump retweeted the video and it went viral to the point that politicians had to ask, the head of Facebook and things like that to remove the video. So people have shared that video with me of a very passionate doctor from here in Houston talking about hydroxychloroquine and how that is a cure, and she knows through her her experience with malaria, treating malaria with hydroxychloroquine. But Dr. Fauci says no. He says no, that is not that's not true. It's not right. So the video was removed, and it found out that the video was distributed by the Tea Party. So, take that how you want to take it. So, I know personally where I live, I overlook a pool, and it doesn't matter what went on the week before. People are going to the pool. So ultimately, I want to give you guys some tips about safety if you really have to go to the pool. But anyway, I want to thank the few people who are here tonight. Please hit share. Please let me know who you are. I can't really see who's in the room right now. So yeah, do share your comments. And again, tell me how you are. Tell me about things that concerned you that happened this week. There was a hearing that Dr. Fauci and Dr. Redfield testified at within the last few days, and they were talking about the vaccine and how the vaccine and research is focused at the drilling protein that the coronavirus uses to penetrate the membranes of our cells. It's aimed at that. There's research aimed at the receptors in our bodies with which the coronavirus best attaches and exerts its effects. So that's what research is focusing on. One of the doctors at Emory University did point out that even though our response seems to be pretty weak, the race for a vaccine is not. The research is together. We are on the road to a vaccine unlike any other. We still don't have an HIV vaccine, but it looks like we're going to have a COVID-19 vaccine hopefully by the end of the year. And I think maybe on Monday we'll talk about the different phases of the trials for the vaccines. I figured it's Friday night and that might be a little too dry to get into, but we can definitely talk about that on Monday. So just trying to see the comments here. Let's see. All right, and so if there are no other comments or questions, I'm looking to see if we have questions or comments. I'm going to check on my laptop to see if folks are doing it on my laptop here, so maybe I can see a larger screen. Let's see. Okay, so we'll get into some tips for safety at the pool. I'm not going. It's funny, summer after summer passes by and I might not get in the water at all. But okay, so hit share, hit like, definitely comment, let me know you're here. I really appreciate you coming out at this time of night. So, you know, if you made the effort to come in at this time of night, definitely make yourself known in the comments. So, just wanted to talk about pool safety from the CDC. Okay, so things that we have to prepare for before we even go to the pool. Definitely, when you're not in the water, they still want you to wear a mask. The CDC still recommends wearing a mask only when you're not in the water. Hey Kelly, oh it's been so long. Hey Dr. Brown, thank you for coming in. So still wear a mask, bring masks, bring extra masks in case a mask gets wet. Bring extra masks if you can, in case there are people around you who you want to socialize with who won't wear a mask. I'm still out and about and still seeing a few people who aren't wearing masks, and they might be great people, but they're not wearing a mask, and for various reasons they don't have a mask of their own. So it might benefit you to have an extra mask or two if you can. Okay, so have that. Bring your own detergents and cleansers, things like that. There is a difference between cleaning and disinfecting. There is a difference between sanitizing, cleaning, and disinfecting, and that can be the topic of another day. Okay, so definitely bring that. Bring extra masks, bring detergents, cleansers, wipes if you can. Also, and I know that Lysol went poof. It just disappeared from the shelves once some information came out about the effectiveness of Lysol, but there are still things that can be used in the absence of Lysol. I see people aren't sleeping on ammonia anymore, but you know, if you can find ammonia, don't mix it with bleach. Don't mix ammonia with bleach. Don't mix ammonia with bleach. They are effective on their own, but you know, you can still use soap. Sanjay Gupta did a great demonstration on how, and a reminder of how just regular soap and warm water will kill the coronavirus. You don't even need antibacterial soap. So just bring some soap, some regular cleansers, whatever cleansers you can to the pool. Another thing, if you can, bring your own pool chairs and things like that, just so that you're not sharing them with people with whom you do not live. If you're gonna be in the pool, try to stay at least 6 feet away from people with whom you do not live, okay? And be mindful of the handrails, other lounge chairs, the cabanas, any structures for playing or climbing, the slides, tabletops, noodles. Don't share noodles and kickboards with other kids. Door handles, surfaces in the restrooms, the hand washing stations. We're seeing more and more portable hand washing stations, or outside hand washing stations out and about. While that is great because we still need to wash our hands and all of that, still be mindful of how you touch those, how you use those. And also showers as well. Definitely, I'm sure you're going to the pool, you already know to bring your flip-flops, your water shoes, things like that. Do not walk around barefoot, especially in the shower. So thank you guys for those who rejoined. We're talking about just some COVID updates, things like that. And because it's the weekend, I'm not wearing my white coat. I'm wearing my Live, Love, Laugh t-shirt from Kevin Hart. I'm talking about the pool because I'm seeing it every weekend. I overlook a pool and I see people out there every weekend. No masks, no social distancing. People are just having a good time like there's no pandemic. So I figured I would do a swimming safety video talking about tips. Okay, so protecting shared furniture, equipment, towels, things like that. Maybe bring your own towels. Hopefully the place that you go to, if they provide towels, they will wash them on the warmest setting possible or appropriate for the coloring of your towels. But, just to avoid the anxiety of that, bring your own towels, wash your towels on the warmest settings. When you leave the pool, wash the towels on the warmest settings. Even if you fade them, just do it. And let's see what else. And then maybe labeling containers or storage things for used towels, things like that. And these are things also to be mindful of when you're looking at the facility at which you're going to go swim. Ask them, do you have what is the clean bin? What is the dirty bin? How are you cleaning the handrails and the slides and the diving boards, things like that? Ask them because the state has put forth regulations for public places to help prevent the spread of COVID. But as we're seeing, the cases are still going up. We're still having record numbers of fatalities and things like that. But don't be afraid to ask the people, the managers at places where you're going, especially at the pools this weekend, how they are keeping the place safe. We worry about the hospitals and staying away from the hospitals, but then we go to the pool and we're laying all over these lounge chairs and touching the rails, going in and out of the pool. And I know there is information that says that you can't catch the coronavirus in a pool because the chlorine, a properly treated pool should not allow coronavirus transmission. You're not expected to wear a mask in the water. However, you are expected to stay while in the water 6 feet away from people with whom you do not live. Okay, so let's see. I just want to make sure there's some other that I covered other things. Okay, but it's based, and then like the deck layouts. Don't worry about appearing antisocial. I know the lounge chairs tend to be like right next to each other because they are where I live. I look at them every weekend. I've been looking at them ever since the 4th of July. I think that's when they opened the pool where I live. And it's just every weekend I'm looking at it. Don't be afraid to separate yourself and your family from, again, people with whom you do not live. Okay, so make sure that make sure that there are lifeguards there. We don't want to end up at the ER because we're not paying attention to basic water safety rules that we would follow any other year. We don't want to, so make sure that there are lifeguards there. Keep your eye on your children. If you have to leave the pool and you're leaving your child alone, don't count on other people to watch them. You're just going to have to take their behinds out of the pool with you. Know that lifeguards are not going to be monitoring people's social distancing. They're not going to monitor the face mask use and all of that. The managing staff at these places, if they really care, they're going to have to assign that kind of thing to another staff member. If you're someone who's watching the pool this weekend, you're going to have to, don't let the lifeguard do everything. And let's see, and then also just again, be aware of local or state regulatory policies on gathering requirements and recommendations to determine if events like water fitness classes, swim lessons, swim team practice, and all those things, or pool parties can even be held. Make sure. So if your mask gets wet, I did say at the beginning, carry extra masks with you. Carry extra masks with you. If your mask gets wet and you don't want to leave, then you're going to have to stay at least 12 feet from everybody, again, with whom you do not live. So that's the thing. So Yeah, carry extra masks. Carry extra masks. So I will say though, I'm trying to offer one solution. I hate to sound salesy, but I made this kit. This is a kit that I carry around in my purse every day, and that's why I call it the mini mobile empty kit. It has multiple masks in it, so it has a couple surgical masks in it. It has gloves, sanitizer. If you feel a fever coming on and no one is checking and you want to be conscientious for those around you, check your own temperature. I've got reusable forehead thermometer strips in here also. And I'm going to add some bonus things to the kit. I'm going to add Band-Aids, alcohol pads, and antibiotic ointment. By popular demand, people were asking, please make this, have those things in there as well. So yeah, carry a mask for yourself and a friend. You can also get reusable masks on my website. So if you're going to be out there long enough, you can let it dry. See if you can let the mask dry, or just don't be afraid to go home. Really, we still need to stay home. Things aren't getting better, and the school season is approaching, and there's a major debate over whether or not children should be able to go to school. So of course the White House administration wants to say that kids can go to school, but even when there isn't a pandemic, kids are known to bring home germs from school, and they are doing there are discussions out there about whether or not children can bring home COVID and pass it on to their parents and grandparents, just like any adult could pass it on to another adult. So, so while the president is saying kids can go back to school, various governors and mayors and things like that, they're rolling it back, and they're making school completely virtual this year. At least until the start of next year, when hopefully a vaccine will be available. Now, another question I wanted to ask is, would you take the vaccine? We're all talking about vaccines, but I know personally a lot of you guys don't take the flu vaccine. Okay, and we healthcare workers, we're practically forced to take the flu vaccine, because they know that enough of you guys don't take the flu vaccine such that if we weren't vaccinated, every week somebody would be home sick trying to get over the flu. And this is one of the busiest seasons of the year because of children going to school and bringing home viral and bacterial illnesses, and because of the flu. So would you take the coronavirus vaccine once it became available? So that's just one question that I have. But definitely guys, share. And again, if you have to go to the pool, I don't recommend going to a public pool or an apartment pool. If you have your own pool, thank goodness. Swim with people that you live with already. Otherwise, try to social distance when you go to communal pools. That's the main thing. Bring plenty of masks, bring your cleansers, disinfectants, bring your own towels, bring your own chairs if you can, and if you cannot, don't feel embarrassed about separating those lounge chairs, because they're always like right next to each other. Don't feel bad about pulling one of those chairs off to the side. And yes, kids do get the flu vaccine. They definitely get the flu vaccine. Definitely get the flu vaccine. Definitely get the flu vaccine. Children do, because they're, unfortunately, because of their age, we can't count on them to socially distance and maintain the kind of hygiene needed to prevent spread of bacterial and viral illnesses. So just like they get the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine and the hepatitis vaccine, things like that, children definitely get the flu vaccine. And that would be one of the a really important way to help prevent so much illness this season. Dr. Fauci feels that things are definitely going to get worse before they get better. He was hopeful that there should be a vaccine out by October or November. However, there's still, the mass production. We need 300 million doses, and we need to be able to distribute it to 300 million people. And do you know how many of us have to be immune to COVID-19 before we can stop worrying about communal spread? How many? 70% of us have to be immune to COVID-19 before we can stop worrying about communal spread. Stop worrying about communal spread means that before we could go back to church, we could stop wearing masks, things like that. That is what it's going to take. It's going to take 70% of us being immune, and not by getting it, not by having COVID parties, because the COVID parties aren't spreading immunity fast enough. It's very dangerous, even amongst young people who, young, healthy people. They still don't know how they are going to respond to it. This illness can unmask conditions that may have been dormant up to this point. So COVID parties are not that's the safe, effective way to do this. Just going out and naturally getting the infection, it might impart some immunity to people, but there are people out here complaining also that they haven't developed antibodies to it yet. However, if you do develop immunity to COVID-19, they say that it could last, a few months, 3 to 6 months, but then it's not expected to last the way a vaccine, the immunity imparted by a vaccine, would last. So as far as the herd immunity type thing, it's a vaccine that will be needed before the herd immunity is achieved by us. We need 70% of us to be immune to this virus, this illness, before we can stop communal spread. So do you think that's going to happen this year? I doubt it, but even if you have had the coronavirus infection and you're completely recovered, you still need to practice social distancing. You still need to protect yourself and others, especially because you don't know if you're shedding the virus as well. It's just too much to know, and that could be a discussion for another day, but I don't want to stay on too long. But again, just be safe this weekend. If you're going to the pool with your family, bring plenty of masks. Try to bring your own cleaners and disinfectants and things like that. Do not count on the facility to have enough cleansers and disinfectants for every surface, for every body. Bring your own chairs, things like that. And try to socially distance from people with whom you don't live. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight on this late night. I'm Dr. Khadisha. I'm your board certified emergency medicine physician and author of the best-selling book, Help Us Help You, in the Emergency Room. So should you have to go to the ER, you would want my advice on how to get in and out of there as quickly as you can, as efficiently as you can, while spending the least amount of money and time possible. And take it from an ER doctor with 20 years experience. If you got to go to the ER, you want to get this information from me. Help Us Help You in the Emergency Room. And thank you so much for joining me. Definitely be safe, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.